The first reading that we have read, the very beautiful reading deep into the theology of St. Paul. The whole creation has been groaning, he says, right from its birth, looking for freedom. And groaning, comes only from pain. We were watching the war in Ukraine and Russia, between Ukraine and Russia. And almost when all of us had forgotten about that war, a new one has started between Palestine and Israel. That's on the world stage. And then wars have been going on in Africa and many other places, and small wars also in India, caste wars, religion wars, all wars. But leaving aside the world stage, the national stage, in our own individual lives, so often we groan with pain. So many things that don't go according to the way we want it. So many things that are not according to our plan. So many things that disappoint us. So many things that leave us in delusion. And we ask, what is the solution? And St. Paul gives the solution in that same passage. Our freedom is in the Lord. He gives us the freedom in an union with Him. But equally, that union requires a certain humility, which we read in the Gospel. Choosing big places, going by our egos, being arrogant. I always tell young couples who get married, nothing can destroy your marriage except your ego. I tell people, communities of sisters, priests, our own fathers, nothing, Satan cannot cause disturbance among you. Your ego can, and that is the biggest Satan. And Jesus tells us the same thing. Humility, take the lowest place, eventually you'll be put on to the bigger place. I wanted to celebrate on a small altar, Father brought me to this big altar. But whole life is made that way. When we go for big things, your fall will be greater. When you go for small things, God will take you up. This is what Brother Alphonsus Rodriguez also teaches us through his life. That humility of life, serving, opening the door, closing the door, any time of the day, any time of the night, taking the guests, putting them, showing them their rooms, is not an easy task. It's a task of humility. But that same task, he transformed it into a task of sanctity. Became a saint doing that. And let us ask the Lord for this grace, that we are able to give up our egos, and that whatever ordinary thing we do becomes holiness and saintliness for us. Let us pray for this grace as we celebrate this Eucharist.